stands at $220. And then the big winner, purple, which is not the big winner because red is actually at 328.72, and purple is at 328.71.
What?
No.
What just happened? Who did that? Someone did that.
Well, let's go to the donations right away, which I'm going to read.
Oh.
So we had a $20. Oh my God. Okay. We got a $20 donation by Lurid Sorcerer who says, "Good luck on the run, Enigma." And then our very own DDG has donated $120.03. And he says, "I'll give the animals a break this year, but I want red blood."
Oh my goodness.
Wow. All right, so we got to have the blood color before we get going. So I think, is red officially our winner?
I would say that red is the official blood color for NoReset.
All right, well, there you have it right there. NoReset 2019 at DreamHack Atlanta. We're doing red blood.
I did believe we're going to bleed purple tonight, not going to lie.
That's what I thought.
I mean, we're just on that website for that, so
Exactly.
we'll be all right for that. So that is going to wrap up that blood incentive. Thank you guys very much, everybody that has donated to that. A lot of people in my community and anybody that may have just stumbled upon that. Thank you guys very much. This event goes to a great cause, the National, easy for me to say, National Muscular Dystrophy Association Society.
Multiple sclerosis.
Multiple sclerosis. Oh, boy.
Words are hard
Look what's
tonight.
happening to me right now. You can tell I've been up for a while. Say that again for me.
The National Multiple Sclerosis Society.
There you go. Better you than me right there because I just got tongue-tied.
I'm guessing what the acronym actually meant was a total enigma to you.
Ah, okay.
There it is.
There we go. But thank you guys very much, everybody that has donated towards that. I read the name of that about 10 times, but you can see it just...
It's the caster curse.
That's exactly what it is. I'm used to hosting again, not playing the game, so I got to get back on it. But we're going to go ahead and get started here.
All right.
This is going to be the any % run, which means we're playing on easy. I know some of you may not like that, but we're trying to beat the game as quick as possible. So we're going to begin the countdown here in 5, 4,
7, 8. No. Oh.
Let's try that one more.
My bad. Yeah. Okay.
It's
You ready?
okay.
You
It
go.
happens.
You good to go?
As you know, as I've just shown, we're all not perfect. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, boom.
Let's go.
Here we are, ladies and gentlemen, the final run of NoReset at DreamHack Atlanta 2019, day 1. AnEternalEnigma playing Silent Hill 4 The Room on PC, any %. Take it away.
There's also, I know a lot of people in chat be going, there's also this music to my right. This is kind of...
There's a rave going on.
Yeah, and I can barely hear myself, but that's all right. We're going to have fun with it. So this is Silent Hill 4 The Room. As far as I know, this is the only, and I'm sure somebody will correct me if I'm wrong, this is the only Silent Hill, the mainline Silent Hills, that lets you see the game in a first-person perspective. It does not happen very often. You're only in the first-person perspectives in this part of the apartment.
And there's a very good reason for that. This game, early in its development cycle, was not supposed to be a Silent Hill entry.
Correct. This was a game just called Room 302, and in the middle of its development, it got changed over to what we now know as Silent Hill 4 The Room. So this game had a very, very staggered reception to it when it came out back in 2004. There were some people that enjoyed it, like me. There were some people who very much did not enjoy it. But as some of the games have come out after this, they kind of warmed up to this one. They realized it wasn't so bad.
What's this Shawshank Redemption type scene right now?
Well, what's happening is, this happens to the best of us. There's a portal that has opened up in our bathroom. That's happened to us at least once, right?
Of course.
All the time. It happens to me a lot down here in Georgia. I almost said down in Georgia. I forgot I was in Georgia, for Christ's sakes. All right. So that just happens. We're going to a portal. Now we're going to be in a familiar territory, third-person view. So this game is a lot different from Silent Hill 1, 2, and 3. With the camera here, we can kind of steer Henry without having to manually turn his character. You'll see these sharp camera twists like I'm doing here, where we go left and right, I'll show you right here. Left, right, left, right. I'm actually not moving Henry. I'm moving the camera, and it's steering him like a car. The previous games don't do that. This was a very different Silent Hill game from the previous 3. And there's going to be a lot of examples of that. There's also some inventory management, which we're going to see later. There's very little of it, not a whole lot, but it's there. Something that threw a lot of Silent Hill folks for a loop when this came out in 2004. We're going to pick up our gun here, but we're not going to use it for a very, very long time. We're actually not going to use a weapon until halfway through the game. We're going to be unequipped. And this is the only thing we can't skip.
So we won't be seeing that purple blood. I'm sorry, red blood.
Red blood, yeah.
Yes.
Halfway through the game.
We won't be seeing that till halfway through the game, but you will see it when it starts.
I think the question everyone asking is, if Henry was a car, what kind of car would he be?
Ferrari.
A very bland, boring one.
So like a 1998 like Honda Civic.
Exactly.
Perfect.
Because he is easily the blandest of the main Silent Hill characters up to this point, probably in history. All right, here we go. So we got good RNG there. One of the things we're going to see with this game, the enemies are always going to be placed in the same spot, but the way they behave, not so much. We're not really going to know how they act until we get there. This game has a lot of minor RNG. For those of you that are familiar with Resident Evil 3, which I think will be played later during this marathon, Resident Evil 3 is a game full of absolute random chaos. And Bakba Soup, if you're watching, you know exactly what I'm talking about, Mr. Buddy. But this game has a lot of randomness to it, but it's minor stuff, nothing that can really destroy what you're doing. But we'll show you some heavy examples of that as we get to it here. What I'm doing here, I'm making Henry run towards the camera, because if I turn it around, he's going to have to keep wiggling all around, and it can kind of get him out of a line. This is the PC version of Silent Hill 4, and this game came out at a time when PC ports were not very well thought of by developers. They were just kind of pushed out because Steam hadn't really taken effect, DRM hadn't really taken effect, so I think developers and publishers just assumed the games were going to get stolen, so they didn't really put a lot of tender love and care in their PC ports. The control in this game is very, as you see right there, is very suspect. It's very hard to keep Henry in a line without turning him and steering him with the camera. The console versions of this game is not like this at all. You can have really precise control over Henry, like with analog control. This game is a totally different story. And it's just one of the downfalls of playing the PC version, but the PC version still ultimately is faster because of some exclusive stuff we can do, which we will do coming up in about 2 worlds here. I'm just unlocking that door. We're not going through it, unlocking it so that we can come back through it in the second time we come through this. Yes, backtracking is a thing in Silent Hill 4, which was one of the things that didn't really get it a lot of popularity back in the day, but we'll come to that bridge when we cross it. All right, let me see if I can pull the strat here. There's gonna be a dog that attacks. If you can get in front of that dog after he does his attack animation, his attack frames stop, and you can get him to basically push you across. There we go. Didn't happen there. All right, we're gonna do this here, the escalator, first half. This one right here, it never hits us. You can run by it. Okay, this one is gonna be a freebie. All right, lefty and a slow lefty. All right, that's a good first half. These enemies are always gonna be placed in the same spot, but they're never going to behave the same, and they're gonna be more tightly bunched as we go up here. If you see an enemy swing with their right hand, you can go right on by. If you see they swing with their left hand, you better pay attention because they could knock you all the way around. This might be a multi-hit, 2. All right, good. That was a really good escalator. Very good escalator. Didn't get hit at all. And now we are about to wrap up Subway World for the first time.
Quick question about the worlds. Is that their official title in this game? Like, is it just different locations, or are they actually called worlds?
Yes, they are actually called worlds. If you save the game and you go into the save menu to reload a file, it will actually say Building World, Subway World, Forest World. So yes, that is official nomenclature from Konami and Team Silent on that one. This is, speaking of Team Silent, their last game that they produced in the series. A lot of the main developers for Team Silent did not work on this game. It was more of the minor hands, the minor league hands, I guess you could say, that were in control of Silent Hill 4. But this was the last formal release by the original Silent Hill development team before they were disbanded, whether they were broken up, you know, however you want to feel about what happened there. This was their last game before they handed it off to a whole bunch of different developers who, let's just say, didn't quite get it.
The B team.
Yeah, let's just say they didn't quite get it. So this part right here, we're getting attacked by a whole new enemy called the Hummers. You've noticed I just kind of run by them and I don't try to avoid them and I don't try to attack them either. Really, your best course of action in a speedrun against those enemies is just to let them hit you and hope they don't hit you a lot, because you'll spend more time trying to avoid them than you would trying to fight them or dodge them. Let's see if we can get the boost here with a dog. Kind of, sort of, a little bit. I didn't get hit, that's most important.
A little boosty. Why are they called Hummers?
That is, I guess, because they hum. I don't know. That's the that is what they officially called these enemies. They have very, very strange names for some of these enemies. We'll be coming up to a new one here shortly with a very entertaining name.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
There's one part way later in the game that I'm really excited for. It's an enemy type that I'm sure no one who's ever seen this game would expect. It's I believe it's in the hospital, but I could be wrong.
Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Everyone knows everything fun happens in a hospital.
I know, right?
Oh, yeah,
and this game is no different.
Silent Hill is notorious for hospitals. There's a lot of hospitals in Silent Hill games.
Yep.
I only know one Silent Hill game, which is 3. And
There's a hospital.
there is a hospital. There's also a really cool theme park.
We can confirm,
Oh,
yeah,
yes.
there is a hospital, a theme park.
I want to go to that theme park.
Do you? Are you
Yeah.
sure about that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Something about a rusty merry-go-round.
It's just the rust that gets you, isn't it?
A little bit.
I would hate to see
It's
your
like
wedding
salad
theme.
fingers.
Oh
Now,
my goodness.
if I have any of my subscribers in the chat, they'll be putting a specific emote in the channel right now of chocolate milk. We just handed chocolate milk to a guy named Jasper. You may think that's not a very important thing to do in Silent Hill 4, but in this game, you literally cannot continue unless you give him the chocolate milk. That's just the way this game goes.
I was a little curious about the milk. Is it possible to drink it before you give it to him?
No, you cannot. It is
unfortunate.
only there for Mr. Jasper to chug.
I wish I was Jasper.
I know, we all do. We all do. You won't wish you were Jasper later when you see what happens to him, but for
Maybe
now,
I will.
For now, he's living life pretty well.
Will we get to see what happens to him in the speedrun?
Yeah, we will see his second version coming up very
Oh.
soon.
His final form.
Yeah, very final. So this game, you just kind of saw something that'll trip up some people when they play it for the first time. Oh, we are doing a little bit of inventory management here, by the way. Let me get to that first. So we're going to put up the key that we just got. I'm also going to put up the steel pipe, 1 pack of handgun bullets, and the key. We have to put the key up because if we try to go back to that main area in the forest with the key in our inventory, it'll just loop, 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 and you won't be able to continue. This is their ha-ha funny way of getting you to go back to the room to put the key in, then we have to go back and get the key and finish the levels.
Can we get a $1 donation for every time you just said key?
Key? Yeah. There's another one.
That was 8,
Key.
9.
Wow.
I just want to point out that at this point, we are at over $2,500.
Very nice.
Oh my goodness. Yo. That's great.
And as you may be aware, last year we ended Dallas. Well, not last year, I mean this year, back in June. Dallas was our biggest event in terms of donation. Our record from Dallas stands at $3,000. We're not even done with day one. We're at over $2,500. So I'm pretty sure that we could break the $3,000 mark on the first night. That would be amazing.
That would be
so
incredible.
amazing.
So come on, chat. If we can get one last donation train going
Do it. Get it
to the
done.
final station, donation record, let's do it.
That is excellent. Thank you to everybody that has donated towards this. I love doing these events. I love causes, and I love that everybody comes out to support these. I'm so proud that speedrunning has become associated with charity events and things like that. I couldn't be any more prouder of what this has become. And thank you to everybody that has contributed to this. So we kind of hear Jasper, but we're not going to see him just yet, but we'll get to him later. We'll see his final form later.
I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. What?
I was just gonna say, I was surprised to see him still drinking that milk when you came back.
Dude,
He's enjoying it.
He's got the bottomless chocolate milk. You know the chocolate waterfall at Golden Corral? He's got it in a chocolate milk form. I don't know how he figured that out, but he did. So we're going to be at Water Prison World here.
What a wise mind.
The wisest. We'll be at Water Prison World. Again, I'm walking towards the camera so that I can get a clean line towards the door so I don't have to wiggle and waggle and Nintendo Wii everywhere. It's just not good. And we'll see we will see the effects of the camera tilting here on this stairway. So if I try to walk in a diagonal, he's just going to zigzag. But if I tilt the camera like that, for some reason, he just runs in a perfect line. A perfect diagonal line. Don't know why. It's just the way it is. And it's not a controller thing. It's also like that on mouse and keyboard, I've come to find, because I've been kind of getting used to that as well. It's just a quirk of the PC port. And you see we're tilting the camera to the right. And again, he's running in a perfect diagonal line. It's just the way it is.
It's the 1998 Honda Civic drivetrain right there.
Exactly what it is. And it's the manual, not the automatic transmission.
Right. You like half hold the clutch in so it doesn't slip.
And then you got to make sure your feet are in the right places.
Of course.
Speaking of cars,
yes.
Wouldn't Henry be a Ford?
Okay. That would explain why he's really janky to drive,
Oh
right?
my goodness, I don't drive. I'm gonna stay away from that one.
Henry Ford.
You know what they say about Ford, right?
What?
No,
do
I
they say?
don't.
4 old rusty doors.
Really?
And we got a lot of rust in this game.
There's a lot of rust.
But do you know what's actually extremely ironic?
What's that?
Getting hit by a Dodge.
Okay.
Here we go. I've lost control.
Oh.
We've lost all control. So we're just going to turn the gate there. We're coming up on something that is exclusive to the PC version, which helps us out on these runs. You can technically do it in the console versions, but if you do it, you're going to soft lock your run while we do our tribute to James Sunderland here and jump down a whole bunch of holes before we get there. So we're going to be doing some pause buffers here. We're going to be skipping some cutscenes to help save us a few seconds. They're very important to do in the top level, the third level, because if you do that, we can skip some enemy spawns, quote-unquote enemies. It'll be just like these little angry beanstalks that come up down here. We'll be doing that and saving some time on some extra cutscenes. So here we go. Let's see if I can do it. So I'm on my keyboard now. I got to hit enter and escape really fast. Where's one? Oh, there we go. Those are the two important ones. Those are the two very important ones. If we mess up one of these 4, it's all right. We've just skipped a major cutscene down below. There's 3. Oh, man. Oh, there we go. It's very difficult to do. It's like a 1-frame window to get.
3 out of 4 is pretty good, though.
4 out of 5, and one more. There we go. 5 out of 6. That's actually really, really good.
I like how that sounded.
Yeah. So it's not like you're hitting enter and escape at the same time. You have to hit enter slightly before you hit escape. And it's just like a 1 or 2 frame window. It's very difficult to do. And I'm actually kind of proud of myself. I don't normally play this on my laptop keyboard, but we just nailed it. So it's the power of the marathon.
You got to be proud of yourself. I mean, 5 frame perfect tricks out of 6.
Yeah. And
that's quite something.
It's the power of the marathon. Some people get stage fright. I get more into it.
There you go.
Was no 6 out of 6, but
Hey, listen, all right? I'm trying my best up here.
All right.
Well, you got 5 out of 6.
Do you want to play? Do you want to come do this?
there's not enough guns.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You sound like Kojima now. All right.
Oh my
No, if I was Kojima, I'd be making pachinko machines.
That's right. And I have one of those at my house. So.
No, if you were Kojima, you'd be trying to drive your bike up mountains.
That's right.
That's true.
No, if you were Kojima, you'd make the futuristic dystopian UPS simulator 2020.
And deliver pizza.
Oh, I love
Exactly.
pizza.
I love pizza.
Lay
Don't turn it on its
ladders
side.
across gaps.
Yep. And a bike that constantly breaks down.
I mean, you got 5 out of 6 frame perfect tricks, and I got 2 out of 2 donations I haven't read.
Go for it.
Let's go with that.
Do it.
So Princess Lazy gave $20, and we have Fallen Lord, who has donated $15 and says, "Good luck with the L1R1."
Yeah, I'll need it. We'll come up to that in a moment. We're going to come up to our new enemies. They are deformed male atrocity figures that make primate noises, and the developers call them gumheads. Don't know why. Their heads are not made of gum, but
Don't talk about my cousin like that.
that's what they... Hey, listen. I got to do what
Yo.
the developers say, okay?
It's fair.
All right, so we're going to take the key here, and we are going to take the Sword of Obedience out of this enemy. The new world record holder, or not really new, he's had the world record for a little bit now, Funky Orange, he's done some inventory routing, and what he's done in the world record is take that Sword of Obedience out of that ghost. Now that is going to cause that ghost to appear in a few spots here, and we'll see if we get some good luck on the placement. And we did not, but we went around it. It's all right. So that enemy is going to pop up, but that'll save us from having to pick up another sword later in the game so that we can do some optimal inventory management for Forest World 2. So that will help us out.
Is the sword an actual weapon, or is it just an item?
It is. Okay, so in this game, you don't. The things that are floating around are ghosts. They're not conventional Silent Hill enemies. You actually cannot kill them. You can just kind of like hurt them and knock them away and things of that nature, but you can't like kill them. What you do is you knock them down on the ground, and you can put that Sword of Obedience in them, and it doesn't kill them, but it just kind of pins them in place so that they can't bother you later. So, but beyond that, no, it's not a conventional weapon in this game. That's one of the things that this game did very, very differently than the previous games.
Another thing I noticed is that you're like sprinting all the way through.
Yeah.
I know in the previous Silent Hill games, you have like a limited stamina. I know in Silent Hill 2 and 3 for sure.
Yes.
Does this game have stamina, or?
No, you actually have infinite stamina, and it is one of the things, and thank you for mentioning that. It's one of the things I forgot to mention. When you're playing this game, you want to make sure you have, if you want to get the best times, of course, you want to make sure you have Henry in a permanent run, which you can set in the settings. You can set it to default run or walk, set him on run, and what you can do, and also to help his precision movement, is you can feather the walk run button. You know, typically there's a button you can press to make him run if you have it on default walk. If you have it switched up, you can hit the button to make him kind of slow down a little bit, which helps him kind of take corners a little more precisely, which is very helpful. All right, good there. The dogs did not hit us. All right.
So at the beginning of the game, I saw you chose the difficulty. Does the AI adjust at all with the difficulty, or no?
No, the AI does not. They just kind of move faster, then they hit harder. It's not really a whole lot of. They don't really get smarter. Their animations just speed up and things like that. And the thing with the difficulty is, I watch a lot of people on Twitch play this game for the first time, and this is a difficult game. Even on easy, when people play this for the first time, I see a lot of people struggle, and they get a little overwhelmed with the enemies here, and once they realize what they're in for, they freak out and they start screaming.
Oh my goodness.
Well played.
Thank you. Thank you. I may have messed up the charity name, but I never messed that up, so there we go. All right, so here we go. So literally, this is just walking upstairs. I wish there was something fun, something technical, something speedrunish to say about this, but we're just walking upstairs, so.
We'll just take it one step at a time.
We sure will.
Yeah.
Well done, well done.
I mean, this section is clearly an uphill battle, but at least it's not silent.
It's definitely not. That one ghost that we took the sword out of is one of the two that is bothering us down there.
He just needs attention.
He does. Don't we all? Don't we all? Don't you hate it when people ghost you?
Yeah,
You don't get attention?
it's the worst.
Get it? Ghost?
Yeah.
Oh boy. All right. So we're getting close to the top here. There should be a door. All right, there we go. We're finally at the top. There we go.
We need to commend Henry's cardio.
Dude, yeah.
Could you imagine how hard that would be if you had to manage your stamina going all the way up?
At some point, I would just be like, come on, go, just possess me at this point. Like, just take me upstairs. Like, I don't care.
That is one thing that is nice about this game in terms of the movement, is you don't have to worry about. Anybody that's watched a Silent Hill 2 speedrun knows very well about the game saved, game saved, game saved. That's so that James's stamina can reset. You don't have to worry about that in this game. And another thing you don't have to worry about in this game, no matter the difficulty level you play it on, Henry will never just kind of bonk into walls and just like headbutt walls when you're running into them, which costs like a second or two. That's one of the things that is nice about this game. You don't have to worry about any of that. Of course, some of that is evened out with some of the random nonsense that can happen. Hello, Walter.
So who are these guys? I remember when you were first in the forest, there was a guy like sitting down at the fountain. There was that little boy that faded away, and
Oh.
that guy there on the steps. Who are these people?
So the boy that we saw in the forest and that guy on the steps is actually the same person. It's a guy named Walter Sullivan. He's mentioned in a memo in Silent Hill 2, and they fleshed out an entire game around him. Here, he is, I guess you could say, the main antagonist, although his story is a bit tragic, and you do kind of empathize with him a little bit. But yeah, they're the same person. So we're running into his child itself, and it's explained in the game. Let me see if I can dodge this.
That was
dog
quite the
real
growth
quick.
spurt.
Yeah, right? And then they run into each other. We unfortunately don't get to see it because it is... Oh, I gotta do pause buffer real quick. There we go. We unfortunately don't get to see it, but there is a cutscene where they run into each other, and Big Walter carries Little Walter off, and he sounds all menacing, and he's like, "Let's go see Mother." But he just... we're not gonna get to see that, unfortunately. But YouTube it. It's pretty funny. But they're the same person.
So wholesome.
It really is.
Reminds me of that movie, The Kid, the Disney movie with Bruce Willis.
Is that a Disney Plus advertisement?
I don't know. No. But it's like, have you seen the movie? He's like this businessman, and he's letting business take over his whole life, and then he reunites with his younger self and like has to remember his past and things like that.
Huh.
I have a headache listening to that.
You should watch it. It's a pretty good movie.
So right there, we put the red paper under the door, and we also interacted with the door again to cancel the pop-up animation and get him to come up a little bit earlier. A lot of people who play this game get a lot of red papers, and you'll see that there's only one red paper that I picked up the entire time. That's the only one you need. The rest of them are just completely optional. There's some very inspirational music being played.
They're cheering you on.
I thought it was the game.
No, it's not. That's just, they really want Henry to get this done. I didn't mean to pick up that memo, but
Those are some ugly shoes.
thankfully, when you pick up memos and stuff in this game, it freezes the in-game timer, so you don't have to worry about it in terms of speedrun, because we use in-game time. We don't use real time on this. So it's okay if you pick up a memo once in a while.
I have one question about the run. though.
Sure.
Do you pick up the doll or not?
No. It's not anything you need to do, and if you do pick it up, it could work against you because it'll cause your room to get haunted a lot quicker. And in the speed run, for any percent, we just want to get out of there as quick as possible with as little distractions as we can. So, no. In this run, no. That was a long answer. The short answer, no, we do not. We do not pick that up.
You say it affects it for 80%. What other categories are there for this game?
There is a very interesting category that a gentleman in our community named Crozadia found about a year or two ago, called Quit Continue. So you know some games have adaptive difficulty, where if you die or if something bad happens to you in the game, the difficulty will adjust on the fly. Resident Evil 4 is a good example. This game has that, but only if you die. But it was discovered that if you just quit the game, it'll happen. You don't even have to die, you just quit the game. So there is a quit continue category where you just quit continue at the beginning of the game 12 or 13 times, and you can basically get a very, very easy mode. And there is also a hard mode. Now, this part right here is the big L1R1 section. This is the hospital. There are 22... Oh! We found Eileen in L1. Oh! These rooms are completely randomized the entire time. There are 22 rooms, 11 on the left, 11 on the right. We have to find a key in Eileen's room. We have already found Eileen's room. She's L1. But if we don't find the key that early, then it doesn't really matter. We've got to find the key.
And how many rooms are there?
There are 22.
Oh my goodness.
And it is random every time. I know recently an RNG manipulation table or spreadsheet was discovered for Silent Hill 2. Silent Hill 4 does not have such a thing yet that anyone has been able to discover. So right now, there's no way for us to really know. And as you can see, don't get too excited if you find Eileen first, because you still gotta go through all these doors and try to find the key. You do have a little bit of invincibility when you come out of these doors to protect you from the wheelchairs, but after about a second or two, they will knock you out. There we go, there's the key. I think that was what, R9, I think?
I have no idea.
R8, all right, so we had Eileen in L1 and the key was in R8. So let's go back down here and get it.
Do you have to go back out there, or is that the end of that area?
Yes, you do have to go back out, and now the game becomes an escort mission. Hooray! So
Get
now,
a classic WoW PTSD.
so now we have to carry Eileen with us for the rest of the game. where a lot of people also get a little upset, but that's all right. Okay, there we go. Eileen made it.
Are you done with chairs, though?
Huh?
Are you done with chairs?
Yes. We don't have to go up there anymore.
Because that was really scary.
So now we see those enemies here that look like nurses, but they're not. They're called patients. And unfortunately, this game has become optimized to the point we never have to attack them. But if you do attack them, a very humorous belching noise comes out of them. You're familiar with belching noises, so
a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. So that's what happens when you attack those enemies, and it tends to take people out a little bit. It catches people off guard, because when you hit an enemy, you don't expect to hear a burp. But welcome to Silent Hill 4: The Room.
They're gassy. It's not their fault.
Is it not their fault?
Some would say they might be sassy as well.
Would they? Who would say such a thing?
I mean, I would.
Would you? Okay.
I would.
What are these guys, and why are they so tall?
So nobody really can decide. Oh, by the way, on this strategy here, we're just keeping Henry completely down the middle. Oh, that was really good, actually. Eileen, follow me right down. So those enemies, I don't really know what they're supposed to be. There's a cutscene that we skipped of Walter Sullivan, like, I guess, performing surgery or something or another on one of those enemies, which humorously uses the Claudia player model from Silent Hill 3, even though it's not Claudia. Some people say that he's messed with all the patients in here and rerouted their insides to just burp all the time. I don't know. It's a little bit of a stretch. I don't think there's any kind of rhyme or reason to it. In terms of enemy design and symbolism and why enemies do what they do and why they are what they are, this game was admittedly the weakest of the original 4. Some of these enemies just flat out don't make a whole lot of sense in terms of the story. So just kind of is what it is. They're just kind of there. All right, so the backtracking has officially begun. We are now back in Subway World 2. Hopefully this enemy will not be aggressive. Good deal. It was not.
Is that like a baby on his chest? What was that?
I don't know. It's like, I think it's like more heads or whatever, like conjoined heads.
Oh my goodness.
I'm not quite sure. Maybe it is gum. I don't know.
5 head right there.
Maybe it is gum.
5 gum?
5 gum.
Okay, so this is what it is like to chew 5 gum. All right, so Eileen did make it. This run's actually going really well, but it could go south really fast with Eileen and the way she acts.
Come on, Eileen.
Let's just hope it does not.
Come on, Eileen.
Let's just hope it does not happen, because she can act great, and then at the end of Subway 1 is when her possession level begins to take effect. And she could end up in a very bad way in Forest 2 if we just don't get lucky. No matter what you can do, sometimes it just kind of happens like that. Normally, I'll be honest, normally right now I'd be using some sound cues, but we can't do that, but that's all right. I played this game enough where I can pretty much tell, and if I need to, I can look at the map. So now we're going to run by Cynthia. Cynthia is back as a ghost, but we're not going to let her bother us. We're going to go down the stairs here. And yeah, there's going to be a whole lot of backtracking. Now, we've left Eileen up top near the turnstile. We thankfully don't have to bring her with us to this part. It's going to be Forest 2 that we have to deal with a lot of that nonsense. And we'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
I was really curious to see where that toy key went.
Whoa, my goodness. The camera did not want to cooperate, but yeah, it goes right there. So now we have to take that coin that we got out of the toy box and go wash it off in the sink in the apartment. And that'll be, we'll also be doing some inventory management there as well. But thankfully at this point, if you do everything right, you don't have to worry about carrying Eileen with you. And you see that door that I unlocked in the beginning of the game? We just went through it with no problems. That's why we unlock it right at the start. Oh, ran right by it. Yeah.
Does the sink in his home have any special properties, or is it just like the nearest one?
It's literally there for you to wash that coin, and that's it. If you try to examine anything else, he'll just say stuff like, oh, I don't need to wash my hands. I don't need to do this. I don't need to do that. So we're going to put up everything in our inventory except the gun and the coin that we're going to wash in the sink. Everything else goes in the chest. We're going to clear out our inventory pretty good for Forest World 2. And that is routing that was done by Funky Orange, current world record holder. In case you're wondering, I'm third on the 80% leaderboard. That's right, I'm second loser still behind Funky Orange and Wuske.
That's right.
That's right. And earlier there was a question about what other runs there are for this. There's also, I didn't get a chance to answer it, so I'll answer it now. There's also a 10.2-star run where you basically play the game on hard mode and you get all the memos and everything. You just do a 10-star run, but this game's kind of weird and they give you 0.2 of a star for no reason. So instead of it just being 10 stars, you get 10.2 stars. But it's basically the hard playthrough.
It's participation stars.
Pretty much.
For showing up to class on time.
That's really what it is. Nobody, I don't know if it's like a bug or something that they just didn't look at, but that's what it is. All right, so we have a lot less enemies here. We got to shoot them. Their health is RNG. Oh my goodness, what are you doing?
Why do we have to shoot them this time?
We're killing them because we're bringing Eileen back down the staircase, and we don't want these enemies to hit Eileen on our way back down. But we just got affected by some really weird hitboxes. Oh, okay. All right, here we go. I can salvage this a little bit. Those enemies sometimes on easy mode can take 4 or 5 shots to kill. It's random. There's no rhyme or reason to it just yet that nobody's been able to find. It's 4 or 5. So what I'll do is I'll shoot that enemy 1 time so it can try. Preferably you want to have 2 bullets, but the hitboxes got all crazy. On the first one that we shot, it happens. This game is weird. I also can't hear a whole lot, but that's all right. But okay,
Some great music.
Okay, Eileen did not come through the turnstile, so that's very good. This run is actually going very well. So I'm going to keep the camera here because this game does a weird quirk where if I turn it before I get to this, it will actually get all wiggly and stupid on the way back up, but because I didn't turn it on the way down, it'll just stay like that and I can run up straight. I don't know why it does that, but welcome to Silent Hill 4.
Have you given any examples of Wiggly Cam? Is it like super outrageous or is it just...
It's not really outrageous. It just doesn't really help Henry move in an optimized way. You just kind of have to keep wiggling and moving him left and right to keep him on a diagonal plane because this PC port's control is really bad. And it's not because I'm playing on a controller. It does that on the keyboard too, I've discovered. It's just not, it just doesn't have very good control. It's not like the console version at all. All right, so this is going to be testy here. Let's see. We'll wait 1, 2. She's not limping, so that's really good. I want to try to get her through here without getting attacked. This is going to be really hard to do without sound cues, but I'll do it. Let's see. Okay, there we go. We got 1. She may take a hit, and that's all right. And she took 1 hit. All right, I heard that. So, again, when you're here the second time, this first one that we run by, it never hits you no matter what, just like the first one, but you are able to run by it without attacking it. And because there's no barrier on the escalator, no matter how far away, oh my God, it did a multi-hit. I also couldn't really, I can't hear it either. That's the one I need sound cues on, but that's all right. So Eileen, no matter how far back she is, will always follow you down here, no matter what, because there's no barriers. We're going to use this subway crank that we picked up to move the car.
That's some long hair.
Very long hair. When Cynthia went, Okay, so these ghosts have very long reach. And if you notice, I kind of ran off very far. They can grab you at points where it doesn't make sense. So you kind of just have to run off, and Eileen is probably about to be very damaged. Oh boy, this could get fun.
I think you made a new category.
Fine.
It's the 80% EDM edition.
I think so, yeah. We could definitely do that.
Little musical handicap in the background.
We have time for some donations.
Go for it, yeah. We're just running here.
Awesome. So we have a $5 donation by Zephyr Safira, who says Enigma 7. And then a $20 donation by Teagues.
Teagues. With a name like Teagues, you don't even need a message for your donation. It's clean.
No message, no problem. So we got very lucky here. Eileen is not limping. I don't know how we managed that. I thought she was for sure going to get hurt.
Eileen's strong.
It did not happen. She's strong tonight. Because usually when you bring her, she's kind of limping. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
What happened to her? She looked like she got her ass beat.
So what happened? So what happens is she kind of did by these. So Walter Sullivan starts chasing you in this part of the game, and Eileen's health reflects possession level. Walter will now begin to possess Eileen because she's the 20th of the 21 sacraments in his little ceremony. And so the damage she takes is caused by being away from Henry. If an enemy attacks her, just being around Walter, being away from Henry. Wow, this is really, for what happened in Subway, I can't tell you enough. Look at me. This is going very well. This could have gone very, very badly. We got very lucky here. But Eileen is a reflection of enemies that Henry leaves her around. She is a reflection of Walter getting stronger, but it's also a reflection of complete randomness. It just tends to be a thing. See, Walter is walking around with a chainsaw and a handgun. All right, so we're gonna change here, we're gonna go that. And so we're gonna skip a load animation here by equipping the weapon, but going through the door at the same time so you don't have to wait. That saves a few seconds. So we're here to get 5 doll parts out of these wells. We've already got 2 of the 5. With previous strategies in this game before Funky Orange developed an inventory management that we all use now, we used to get 4, and then we used to put them on the doll on the burned building in the middle, where Jasper used to drink his chocolate milk. He no longer is.
Jasper.
But we'll see Jasper. We'll see Jasper in a moment. He'll come back. And at this point, you can pretty much just leave Eileen alone. She doesn't need to follow you in all these areas, which is nice.
Did that chain have any significance? What the hell is that?
You remember earlier when I said that this game had kind of weak symbolism when it came to enemies? Well, that's the strongest. That enemy is the twin victim. It's a reference to the kids that Walter didn't do nice things to with an axe in Silent Hill 2. There's Jasper. Jasper's back. He's just on fire now.
That's
the opposite of brain freeze.
The complete opposite. He's on fire, literally. Played too much NBA Jam.
That heartburn from that chocolate milk, I suppose.
That's real.
Came right back to him. That's Silent Hill heartburn.
It's a sacrifice I'm willing to make for chocolate milk.
He must have been lactose intolerant or something.
Might have been. But those twin victims that we face are a representation of the kids that we read about Walter basically killing in a memo in Silent Hill 2. And it's one of the more iconic enemies in the entire franchise. So for all its enemy design shortcomings that this game has, it's got a very memorable one with the twin victims. And when we're playing casually, you can see they point at you and they just whisper the word, receiver. Because Henry is the receiver of wisdom. And it's very, very creepy when you're playing this for the first time. So now suddenly we have 4 of these enemies, which is what this game loves to do. Throw lots of enemies in small areas, but thankfully we can avoid them.
That reminds me of Dark Souls 2.
What happened in Dark Souls 2?
Oh, just lots of enemies.
There's lots of enemies in a small area, yeah. You can tell who hasn't played Dark Souls 2.
It's like some people's high school reunions.
Hey, listen. I've been to one of my high school reunions.
Was it a bunch of enemies in a small room?
I was homeschooled,
Some
but it
of
still
them.
applies.
Some
Your
of them.
homes. So like, your mother is your enemy?
We're not going to talk about that. My mom's coming to pick me up later.
Oh yeah. Let's.
I love you, Mom.
Let's.
I love you, Mom.
Let's speak nice about Mom. All right. Let's not get in trouble. All right. So we got the 4th body part here. Jasper tends to keep bothering us, but thankfully we can avoid. And I forgot to mention it when it happened, just because there's so much happening in this game all at once. In the subway, when we shot those enemies on the wall, that is the first time you engage an enemy in this game. So we've gone like halfway through the game without attacking anything, which is pretty wild.
Violence solves nothing.
Well, at least in the first half of the game, it solves nothing, but now we don't really have a choice. But we're gonna pick up a lot of items. Now we have the Pickaxe of Despair. This is a usable weapon, but we are not going to use this until the final boss fight, but we're gonna go ahead and pick it up. We have to pick up a story item here, the center medallion, I can't remember what it's called. Crested medallion, thank you. Forgetting everything tonight. And we'll light the torch and get the 5th body part. We'll wrap up Forest 2, but this run's going very well. I'll be interested to see what the time is if we get a good One Truth. If you know what I'm talking about with One Truth, then you know what's happening. If you don't know what I'm talking about with One Truth, don't worry. I'll fill you in when we get there.
So we haven't seen an actual boss fight yet, have we?
No,
Yeah, I was just gonna ask about that.
This game does not have boss fights. It's just another thing they did differently. They don't have boss fights here. It's just the way they did it. They have the One Truth you could consider a boss fight, but it's very lame. All right, I could actually hear that. All right, cool. All right, sweet. There we go. So we got that. We're going to take a little do-si-do here to make sure Eileen actually comes down the steps, because if you don't do that immediately, she will not. And now we're just walking again. And one thing here, there is something technical here I want to talk about. We turn the camera again to have Henry running towards us. Eileen, if we run too fast, she will hit, her left side will hit that walkway barrier. And if she hits it, she will stop and take like 2 steps over, and it can kill a lot of time. So we really try to run as fast as we can towards the camera. But if we see Eileen getting, oh, well, no, that was a possession.
Where's mommy?
Yeah, she's getting
She's coming to pick you up later. Come on.
Awesome, that was awesome. She'll be here to pick you up. After
Don't worry.
She will.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
I'll stand with you outside until she gets here.
Will you hold my hand?
That was
Of course.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
great. Awesome.
I'm not a monster.
You're not? Have you played Death Stranding?
I have not.
Are you a Monster Energy drink?
Oh my
You mean beer? Isn't it beer now? Pretty sure it got patched out.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that a Canada thing, or?
Maybe, perhaps. Who knows?
Because I played it after the patch, and
I was playing on Sunday, and it was still...
Sam Porter Bridges still chugged his Monster Energy drink like, woo! Like, he was having a lot of fun.
Well, you guys know me in single-player games. It doesn't go well. Myself in single-player games. But I've been watching a couple people play Death Stranding, and it's all beer now.
Well, I need to check that out then.
Yeah.
I was not aware of that. So right here, we're just going down this long walkway. Walter Sullivan is chasing us. Eileen is behind us. There's not really any rhyme or reason to this. You just kind of go, and hopefully you can keep these enemies aggroed on you and not bother Eileen too much. Although at this point, her health and her possession level don't really mean a whole lot. They don't really... The parts where she can hurt you the most are already past us. So we'll wait for her to come on down, and we'll do the first of 2 animation manipulations to get her away from us, and I'll explain that when we get there. Let me attack these. Oh, here we go. She's right here.
So if you play this on normal or hard, can you fall off this ledge like you can
No,
in Silent Hill 3?
You cannot. On anything, yeah, that's a good question. You actually cannot fall off of that. So as you see, we kind of body checked her there in the corner to get her stuck in her knockback animation. That way we're able to come back out without her, so we can keep her in there safely. Walter, thankfully, also attacks the other enemies in the game, not just us, so he was distracted with the birds. Again, it's just random.
He's just as fed up as you are.
We're all done with those birds. So the tribute to James Sunderland continues, jumping down holes.
It's a good hole jumping music.
Very... I can't think of better music to jump in holes in the background. All right, let's see. Prisoner shirt here. Now, hear me out. Hear me out. This is a little crazy. I have to go back to my room and dip that shirt in my bloody bathtub to continue. Yes.
It's like a Saturday night.
Welcome to Silent Hill.
Not
Or,
like you've never
yeah,
done
or
that
as we like to call it, Saturday night. All right.
By the way, after a thorough investigation, I found out that when you deliver beer somewhere, then Monster gets replaced by beer. That's not a patch.
Oh,
okay,
wow, okay. I did not know that at all. Wild.
Well, sorry for the spoilers, chat.
I'm gonna ban
Oh,
you
well,
now,
come on.
Jesus.
Just don't deliver the beer and you're fine.
Just, yeah.
Monster percent.
I'm trying to protect my
Monster
first playthrough with Death Stranding, okay?
Well,
I want it to be pristine, Jerry.
it is what it is.
All right, so we're gonna do our last inventory management here. We're gonna put up the torch. We're gonna put up the subway card. We're gonna get the Sword of Obedience back out. We're going to get the Rusty Axe back out, which is our best melee weapon, by the way. And we're gonna get our pack of handgun bullets back out. And this will be the last time we need to come back to our inventory for the rest of the game. Like I said earlier, not a whole lot of inventory management. It's there, but not a whole lot to do. So now that we have done all this, we have activated. This kind of looks like a boss fight, but you'll see it's not. It's Andrew DeSalvo, a ghost that deceased earlier, who has come back as a ghost. If you do not have a silver bullet on this, this will be harder than the final boss. For those of you looking to play Silent Hill 4 for the first time, heed my advice. Have a silver bullet ready for him, because if you don't have a bullet ready there, he is going to fly around. You guys remember Kano from Mortal Kombat? He cannonballs all over the place. It is a bad time if you don't have a silver bullet for him.
Now I'm upset. I wanted to see him cannonball.
Yeah.
Well, we can't do that. We can't deliver Monster Energy drink either. All right. All right, so we got 2 for 1 with the axe on that. We're just going to pull Eileen back through. It's easier for Henry on easy difficulty, or any percent rather, just to run through those enemies. They do very little damage and they clear a path for Eileen. It's a lot quicker than to try to knock them away. But for those two, we just knock them because Eileen's going to show up there anyway. So we reload our gun. We're going to wait for Eileen to come up. Pulling up the map pauses the in-game timer, and I think she's close enough to go through the door, so we'll go on through. And there she is. All right, so remember those twin victims we just saw? And you were just like, what?
Yeah.
Remember those? Well, we're about to run into 6 of them in this hallway.
How many heads is that? Go quick.
That's gonna be 12.
I was just thinking that's a lot of upper body strength.
I have math trophies, all right? I can do the quick math. All right, so this is very crucial. Let me just kind of focus here. There you go, they're all pointing at me. I gotta keep the aggro on them so that they stay away from Eileen, because they will attack Eileen.
Be careful now, don't get ahead of yourself.
Oh my God, that's perfect. Jeez, Louise. This is a really good run. Some of those runs just fall apart right there because those enemies will. I didn't mean to ignore your thing, by the way. But
Oh, no,
I'm very excited because I can't tell you enough. Those enemies can lock onto Eileen like really, really badly. Everything is going really well, but we've still got a one truth to come up, which is basically digital whack-a-mole.
Nice.
But we'll come up to that. It's not a very thought-out boss fight, if you even want to call it that, but we have a little ways to go. We're actually going to do our one and only world skip in this game.
Oh.
Ah, there's the side.
Sounds like
Side
Mario
stuff.
Brothers now.
Yep.
I just can't get over how those twin head guys, they just plank at you
Yeah,
when they're
they
fed
just-
up of running.
Yeah, man.
They just swan dive right
They're trying
at
to
you.
bring planking back. God, no.
You think it'll work?
Please, no.
Oh, we pulled Eileen through. Okay, so let me explain what we're going to do here. We are going to skip this whole world. Typically what we need to do is we need to get 4 items, what they call the reminiscences. We're going to pick up the handgun bullets here. So we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to back Henry up in the corner. We're going to get Eileen to walk right in front of us, and then we're going to... Oh, messed it. Sorry. All right, here we go. Let's do it again. That may not work. Oh, I'm choking it. Remember how I said this run was really good? All right, here we go.
Curse.
This is
There we
perfect
go.
world record place.
Bam! There we go. All right, so she should not make it. There we go. The game is designed to have Eileen come through that elevator every time, but when you get her in that animation, she doesn't, and the game gets thrown into complete chaos. I picked up that health drink just to be safe. So we're going to go up here. We're going to ignore that cue ball, which we normally need. If you were remembering what I said earlier about the cutscene with Big Walter and Little Walter, this is where it would be. So if you want to look that up on YouTube at some point, it's right there. Cynthia returns. So here's where we skip everything. When we get to this point, the fence despawns between where we were with the elevator and here. And since there's no fence, Eileen just crosses the border and boom, we've skipped the whole thing. So now we can just get out. Bumper car wheelchair is going to be happening down here.
Nice.
And we will avoid them. Hopefully Eileen does not get cornered.
Look at him popping wheelies.
Oh, that's possession.
Oh,
Okay, she made it.
I don't know where it is.
I'm gonna withhold
Daddy's at
any
home.
comments
Daddy's at home.
from that.
I'm gonna need as much quiet as I can get, because I gotta hear her footsteps change, and I'll let you know. Oh, I might not have made it. Did she make it? Oh, thank God she made it. Oh, that was close.
Nailed it.
All right, so now we can yell and be stupid. All right.
Hear that, Mr. DJ? You can't throw him off.
4890. They can't stop me over there. They can't stop this.
With your electronic dance music.
Do we have any more donations that have come in?
We got one donation in.
Sure, go for it.
As a matter of fact, or actually a couple of little ones just came in.
Yeah, go for it.
So we got a $5 one by Easter Meg and a $9.48 donation by Squeeze65.
Awesome.
Nice.
Thank you.
Squeeze65, by the way, who is my better half. Love you, Dave. Miss you.
Aw.
Thank you all very much to everybody that has contributed. I'm looking up here. We're already over $2,600 on the first day. That's fantastic. Thank you all very much for supporting this event.
Also, a $15.80 donation by Am, who says, "Stop it."
No, you.
And they donated towards the Resident Evil 3 Choose the Costume Bid War, so
Nice.
that's picking up real nice. And we're now at $2,604.20.
Oh, 420.
Yeah, I just realized that
Well
actually. Yeah,
played.
that's where we are. Well played indeed.
Somebody did that on purpose.
No.
Nah, that never happens at NoReset. What are you talking about? We ain't all about that. That being said, though, we're that much closer to reaching our record, 3,000, before the end of the first night. So this is the final stretch. Get those donations in. We got Killer Save the Animals and the costume selection for Resident Evil 3 that are up. So donate generously. We got another $10 donation by Dewey, who says, "Enigma Murph."
Thank you, Dewey. So this is the one truth. This is digital whack-a-mole. We got to find the right one that hurts all of them, and it's not looking good. Oh, thank God! All right, there we go. Oh, if it's not one of those first three pairs, you are in for a world of hurt. Oh, and thank the Lord. Oh, all right. Woo.
Nice. That's it.
That was it. There we go. And if it's not one of those first three, those enemies are basically gigantic versions of those little enemies that we saw on the wall back on the escalator, and their hitboxes get even crazier and out of whack, and Henry doesn't point at the right one because he still thinks he's looking at the small escalator. It's an absolute mess if you do not get one of those first three pairs, so awesome. This is shaping. I'm going to be very curious. The hospital, the key being down in R8 is really going to hurt a little bit, but I'll be very curious to see what this final time is. And also messing up the elevator skip might hurt a little bit too, but this might be a very good run. We'll see what happens.
This is one of the few. No, this is the only of the first 4 Silent Hill games that I haven't played. And I'm gonna be honest, watching this whole run makes me not want to play it.
It's pretty intimidating. It's got things everybody hates: backtracking, escort missions, inventory management. But honestly, I really believe everybody should give it a shot at least once, because I promise you, and I know this is subjective and it's just opinion, it's a little bit more of a higher quality than the games that have followed after. So
It's the classic WoW of Silent Hill.
exactly.
Oh, okay.
Inventory management, escort missions, and backtrack.
Just give it a shot.
Hella backtracking.
Yep.
And like I said, when this game came out, there are a lot of people that did not like it, and I totally understood. I didn't argue with anybody. I was like, yeah, I gotta get it.
What about Downpour?
Oh, the game I have the world record in?
Yeah.
Don't ever play that ever.
Are you trying to secure your record?
Yeah.
What is
No.
He is.
I want someone to take
What
it
is
from me. Starwin, if you're listening, take the record back from me, please.
that? He doesn't mean that.
He doesn't want to play it either.
Yeah, he really doesn't. He's done with it, too. So right there, we picked up 3 of the 4 memos in there. You don't need to pick up the one closest to the door. You actually just need to pick up those 3. We're going to pick up a story pickaxe now that we cannot use as a weapon, the Pickaxe of Hope. And we're going to go back in here for the final time. Well, before the ending, of course, or before the final boss fight. We'll go in here and we're going to knock down a wall that we did not know existed.
We got a $5 donation by the other DW, by the way.
Nice.
Keep it coming. We're getting closer.
Yeah, if you get donations, interrupt me. Go for it. Just let us know. That's what it's all about.
Thank you.
Big true.
So I just picked up the Keys of Liberation, which the game says are a set of evil-looking keys, very evil-looking keys. And right now we can finally give Eileen the old heave-ho. We don't need her anymore. She is not a factor anymore in this run. We can just go and do what we need to do. There will be 3 twin victims in here. Hopefully we never see them. There we go. But yeah, we are coming up in the home stretch of the game. This is the last big area before the final boss fight. So there's probably about maybe 5 minutes left. So if you got any donations, bring them on in. Send that in.
This has been a great experience so far. Like this is, I've seen people play this game, but I've never watched it from start to finish. And it's really interesting to watch.
And
now you had no choice.
No, it's interesting to watch.
would you let the guy be nice? Jeez. But no, this game has a the gameplay may have a lot of shortcomings and a lot of weirdness and a lot of areas where you can tell they didn't have a lot of time to work. But I feel like this game tells a wonderful story, despite the fact that the main character you're playing has no story. This game is all about your antagonist, Walter Sullivan, and his story and how he got to this point, why he thinks your apartment room is his mother. Yes, that's the story, but it's explained very well. I think it's one of the strongest stories told in the Silent Hill universe. If you can get around the weird gameplay, I think there's a story there you can really enjoy. So we're going through here. There are these void straitjacket figures with Walter's hair, which are meant to represent Walter. There you can kind of see it right there. He's strung up on chains in a straitjacket. We have to interact with all 6 of these to remove the chains off of the superintendent's door so that we can pick up, yes, an umbilical cord that we will need for the final boss fight.
Was that like a wall of weapons just there?
Yes, but they're not real.
Oh, that sucks.
It's the great debate in this game. They're all old weapons from previous Silent Hill games, but they don't work.
Wow.
If Henry goes up and examines them, oh, that was unlucky. If Henry goes up and examines them, he'll just say, these are all fake model guns.
If they all work, would that be enough for you to play it? Enough guns?
I think it's missing about 10.
It looked like 10. It looked like
10 more.
Oh, 10 more.
I need variety.
All right, so we're gonna pick up the umbilical cord through the wall. I love explaining this game to people because this game gets really intense. Because in the beginning, we're handing people chocolate milk, you know, chocolate milk, but by the end of it, we're having to deliver umbilical cords. It gets kind of heavy, so.
So it is Death Stranding now.
A little bit, yeah.
We got a $5 donation by Am, who says, I'll evo your keys.
Am, come on.
Quick reminder that also we're raising money for the National Multiple Sclerosis Society, and this is the final stretch for the night. We have the potential to break our all-time record in the United States at $3,000 US, but we're talking for a whole event. If we can break that on the first night, that would be insane.
Crazy.
And we're actually $360 away from achieving that. So get those donations in, get that donation train going. I'm pretty sure we can make it. There's what, about 5 minutes left, I would assume,
Yep.
So just keep it up. And thanks to everyone who's watching, who's donated. Thank you, everyone.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, guys. You guys know me from other events that I participate on. I absolutely love these events. Again, I love that our speedrunning community has become associated with things like this. It's one of the proudest things that I can relate to people in my adult life, that we've been able to take this and do good things with it. So thank you to everybody that has donated and will donate. And yeah, to say that they're about to hit a US record in just one day is awesome, and I'm glad to have been a part of it.
And we thank you for being with us for this. And also, I'm just going to say, it affects a lot more people that are way closer to you than you might realize. We have Redbox Fan in chat just now who said, as someone with MS, thank you everyone for your support and generosity, and it's our absolute pleasure. And you know, it touches everyone.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of times you'll look at someone you won't even know. That's the thing. It's a really, it's a sneaky condition, and it creeps up on you. We have friends back in Montreal who have it as well. So it's something that touches everyone everywhere. So keep donating generously, and thank you so much, everyone.
And Redbox is a frequent member of my community, and I want to say directly thank you. And it is my absolute pleasure to contribute to that. And I hope all the best for you, my friend. And thank you for being a part of our community as well. So what we're doing here, this is the final boss fight. We took that umbilical cord. We put it in this monstrous figure that has formed, which is actually the real Walter Sullivan. The fake Walter Sullivan is doing his Noob Saibot Mortal Kombat cosplay. He's shrouded in black, and I think we're going to get a perfect Walter fight. Oh my goodness! If he stays right there, even if he zooms down here, it might be perfect. Let's see what happens.
He really is Noob Saibot.
By the way, we have Mushbrains Medaya who says, Coach Enigma with the good jacket and the good one truth with $5.
Listen, I don't know about the good jacket, but...
Excuse me?
What do you mean? It's iconic.
Oh.
It's my calling card. It's my beacon. All right, so we may get a perfect Walter fight here. He didn't zoom, and if he backs up against the wall, this is going to be about as good as it gets. Let's see what happens. And I will let you guys know when time comes up. It's not when I get the final hit, but I'll let you know when. All right, so if he backs up against his perimeter, we got it. Oh, let's go. Oh, my controller may have deceived me right there. 1. All right, if he doesn't move, we're good. Now his health is also RNG. It can take either 4 or 5 of these short attacks. We're at 3.
Let's hope for 4.
4, all right, we're gonna do a big swing and hopefully this is it. If not, we'll do one more small one.
That's it.
All right, and I'll let you know when time is coming up very soon. And time.
I can't hear my claps.
Woo! That was a really good run.
Hold on.
I'm very curious to see what the time is. Do we want to watch this? I know there's nobody on after me, but
I want to watch.
you want to watch?
Yeah, I mean, it's the final run of the day. We
Yeah.
can take our time.
Let's see what ending we got. We saved Eileen, which is not something you see very often, so we can show you this really there's not a whole lot going on in these endings, so
Why does he look like Post Malone?
listen, all right. The tattoos on the face started somewhere, all right? They started with Walter Sullivan, okay?
Post Malone's a poser.
No,
Well, you know who's not a poser?
Who's that?
Anonymous, who donated $10, and they say, we found out this year that my boyfriend has MS. Here's hoping events like this help people.
Hey.
absolutely, they do, and we're glad to be a part of helping with those things. So thank you very much.
We take our passion in something that we love, which is video games and speedrunning, and turning into something that's a force for positive change and helping people. I mean, what's not to love?
Yeah.
We're just a bunch of people who love video games, playing video games, and at the same time, we're helping out people.
It's what it's all about. It's what it's always been about. It's what it always will be about. It's very, very good stuff.
On my watch, you can count on that.
So this ending here is considered the good minus ending. It's good, but not the greatest, because Eileen doesn't want to leave the apartment complex. So she just kind of wants to go back and still deal with all this mumbo jumbo.
Sounds like my family in New York.
And Henry just is just like, okay. That's literally his reaction. You'll see it in a moment. Henry, this guy is the most lack of character, main character in this whole series. He's just a poor schmuck.
He's a real John Doe.
He really is. He's just a he just got the room that Walter got abandoned in when he was a kid, you know. I mean, poor guy. This game, that's something we also didn't talk about. This game doesn't even take place in Silent Hill. The closest that it gets to Silent
Ash
Hill,
something?
Oh.
Is that it?
Oh, South Ashfield, yeah. South Ashfield. This game takes place in South Ashfield. The closest that we get to Silent Hill is in that forest area. You can kind of see Toluca Lake out there. That's about as close as we get, but this game does not take place in Silent Hill. It said it takes place about half a day's drive, which is about 12 hours, so. That's another thing that this game did a little bit differently.
That's like people who say they live in LA and they live in the mountains because they want to sound cool.
Yeah, right?
People do that?
Yeah. Yeah, they do. I won't say any names though.
All right.
Oh, so we have Fallen Lord who donated $15 and says, well done.
I guess I can go back to South Ashfield.
Well
Heights
done.
now.
So Eileen wants to go back to the room. It's
What is wrong with her?
hey, a home is a home to some people. All right.
Home is where the heart is.
Did you see that stove?
And Henry, just like we just saw, he's just like, yeah.
It's Uber Eats for a reason. You don't need to use a stove.
Oh yeah, that's
True.
No,
Yeah.
but I gotta say, in this case, you know, home is where the heart is. Now, is it still inside your rib cage? That's another question entirely in that universe.
I
but-
don't know. All right. Let's see. Oh, you like the logo? You like the logo on the?
Wait a minute. I've seen that before.
All right. All right. Let's see what the final time is.
23 seconds.
Woo! That's a sub 51. That's 50:49. With all the weirdness that went on, with not being able to get Eileen into the elevator, and with the key being so far down in the hospital, for me, that's a pretty good time. I don't know where that place is on the leaderboard. I don't know if it'll. I think that's fourth. That would be a fourth place time. But for me, anything under 51 is really, really good. So that's Silent Hill 4. That was a very smooth run, all things considered. Thank you guys again for having me. Thank you to my 2 couch friends that I made literally just an hour or 2 before. The level best.
Whoa, you knew me?
Yeah,
I met you.
True.
No, I meant like I didn't.
It's all good.
Hey, listen,
I'm
no.
going
I don't want to end up on any compilations. I got here and I was like, I don't have a couch. I don't know.
That is true.
My people aren't
That is
here. And I found 2 very great people to join us. And thank you for asking all the questions because you guys got my memory going.
Oh, no problem.
Thank you guys very much.
Thank you for having us.
The level best. He's live. He's handsome. He's handsome live.
That's right.
By the way, gentlemen, I got confirmation from Central just now. This is a 6th place on the
It
leaderboard.
would be 6. Okay. That leaderboard's getting pretty tight lately. But still, for me, anything under 51 is really good. But and before we take off from here, I just want to let everybody know as well. I always like to let everybody know about the Silent Hill speedrunning community. We've got a very, very wonderful speedrunning community. We have no drama, nothing crazy happens. We are always looking for more people to come in and join our ranks and to see what can be found next with these games. As recently, like with this game and with Silent Hill 3. Come on into the Silent Hill Discord if you have any questions. With the games that I played, 4 and Downpour, I'll be happy to help with anybody. There's so many people in that Discord that are very passionate about running Silent Hill, all of the games in the series. Come on in and join us. We would love to have you. And that's all I got to say about that. Anything else?
No, thank you so much for having me.
By the way, I
done.
stand corrected. It is indeed 5th place
Is
on
it
the
5th?
leaderboard.
Okay.
We don't do numbers.
You just sounded so convincing.
I
that
know.
I took your word for it.
They do the pronunciation.
And you know
do the
what? I had
numbers.
to do a revision, so that's even more convincing. That's really lifelike.
But yeah, very, very good run. Again, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for being with us. Thanks to the couch who joined in, even though it was last minute. I mean, you guys provided the insightful flavor to this freaking amazing run. I love Silent Hill speedrunning. I love it.
Back
We
to
tried, we
esports
tried.
for me.
Sometimes the best things are thrown together at the last minute. So,
There you go.
but thank you to both of you.
That's what my mom said
When did she say that?
when I asked how I was born.
Have a good night, everybody.
Oh, God. It's okay. We're talking about a game series where in one game you use an umbilical cord to kill someone.
Yeah.
And the previous entry has someone literally puking out a fetus and then someone else eating it. So, I mean, is it that, what he just said isn't that bad in my opinion.
It's like
And we had
anti-vegan.
Silent Hill 3 in Montreal a couple of months back,
It's
so that's
not,
still fresh.
I know. Cat Link ran that at Silent Hill 3. It is the one where you eat the fetus.
Yeah, I was on the couch for that, actually. That was a great
I
time.
do remember, yeah. And
Speaking of couches,
Silent Hill.
this is a great upgrade from DreamHack Dallas. I must say, a lovely. Oh my God.
I'm gonna tell my esports guys to use couches instead of
Well,
desks.
there-
now.
You should. What are you waiting for?
There's a small story with this couch.
Oh no, I'm
yeah?
getting up right now.
Let me tell you the story about how I met your mother. No, that's not it.
Oh, that.
But it's,
okay.
we had the Dallas couch. It was delivered here. And I look at them and I'm like, nah,
Uh,
nah. I'm like, nah.
No.
And that's the end of the story. They switched it. So I'm like, I mean, that's up to you.
3 letters was all it took.
Did you burn it? Did you have like an office space beat up scene with that couch? 'Cause
I wish I could have, but the convention center was not really down with that. Fire department was not down with that.
That's fair.
They rarely are.
They rarely are. Yeah, party poopers, definitely. Oh.
I hope no one sits on it ever again.
It's hallowed ground to that couch.
All right. Yeah, we had to cancel the raid because we're not quite ready to do that yet.
Okay.
We're just going to go over basically, also I'm trying to stretch it because maybe someone's going to want to snipe the 3,000 mark, but also at the same time, I want to go over what was going to happen tomorrow. So tomorrow we will be opening, so the pre-show is going to be at 10, the show's going to start at 11, we're going to adjust the schedule so it reflects that, but essentially we're going to start with Pokemon Snap 80% on the N64 with full air, followed by Kirby 64, Final Fantasy 1, Red Faction, Half-Life 2, Joy of Kaizo by Electronic Logic, and spoiler alert, there will be a raffle for a custom-made cartridge of the Joy of Kaizo. As Electronic Logic always does that, by the way. He always brings the cartridge of the game he's gonna run. And then we're gonna have Metroid, Super Metroid. That's gonna be a randomizer race between Rosu 123 and the one and only Zost. So that's gonna be one to look out for, and it's gonna be based on a new algorithm that was developed by Kip, who's going to be commentating the race, so that's another big one to look out for. Kip's also going to be running Sunset Riders right after that. Avasam's going to be running Pony Island, which
I should mention, I have exclusive Easter eggs for this one.
Oh.
Never seen before.
World premiere. And then we're going to have Resident Evil 3, of course, with Dagger. We have 2 incentives up for that. We got more incentives coming up. And then there's some dude, I don't know who that is, like, he's going to run some, like, light gun game, Resident Evil, Dead Aim, I don't know. What's up with that? So I'm guessing he's not hearing me right now because he's on the couch.
He's in the zone.
What?
He's texting his mom. It's okay.
Oh,
I
okay,
actually
okay.
was.
I know everything.
I was like, I'm almost done. Sorry it took too long.
He was throwing
What did
shade
I
at
say?
you and you missed it.
I was not throwing shade, actually. I was putting the spotlight on him low-key.
Quit trying to start things.
Hi. Yo, what did
I'm an
I say?
esports caster. Drama's what I do.
Okay, I'm sure it is.
It's all
I knew
good,
there
man.
was
It's all
something
good. I
about
was just
esports
saying you
cast.
got to run tomorrow, and you didn't even acknowledge that,
Oh,
man. I was like,
I'm gonna be running.
I was doing you a solid, bro. Like, what's going on?
I'm so.
Yeah, I was sitting there, I was like,
So the level
gotta
best
punch me or
on the
something.
couch right here is going to be running Resident Evil Dead Aim. Now that's kind of a hybrid, traditional Resident Evil, but also a light gun game. It's played with a Gun-Con 2, second generation,
Or a mouse.
Oh.
or a mouse. Are you playing that with a mouse for real?
We'll talk about that tomorrow.
gotta tune
I
in.
see.
Gotta tune in.
I see. So okay, so he's going to be using whatever peripheral he's going to be using, but it goes between like first-person light gun style game but you also move around in third-person view. So that's a very interesting Resident Evil entry in the series, and one that's actually lesser known, but it's a really good one even though it's a spinoff. So, and that's what we have on the program for tomorrow. If you want the schedule, just do !schedule in the chat. Same for the donation link, and I think that's it for tonight.
Sounds good.
All right.
Thank you guys again.
Thank you very much,
appreciate it.
everyone. Once again, Enigma, level best. Can you please just, like, refresh my, I'm just...
Handsome live.
Does he need a name? I mean, look at him.
I want to acknowledge the person, come on.
I have some very strong Greek words for you, sir.
It's okay. It's okay.
Well, I've got a strong jacket, so.
Let's not talk about the jacket.
All right. So this is it for NoReset at DreamHack Atlanta 2019, everyone. We're signing out, but we'll be back tomorrow. Now we're going to raid, I think. Hold on, let me just get confirmation on that raid, then we'll get going. Because it's very easy. We have no communications issues backstage with 250,000 decibels of stage running across from us with EDM blasting. Give me a second.
Yeah. Who are they even playing for?
So we will be raiding Dark and Rose. We're going to start the raid in about 30 seconds.
6 people.
So join in and let's just, let's just drop in and spam NoReset. Let's do that. Let's keep it simple.
Keep it simple.